Testing 1, 2, 3. Sound check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Getting ready for Hobbs Eagle baseball. Game 2, the best 2 out of 3 series here. First round of the 5A state playoffs here in Albuquerque. Ty friend here as we get ready for the Hobbs Eagles taking on the La Cueva Bears. Hobbs at 14th seed and the La Cueva Bears at number 3. Hobbs must win this second game to have a third game later today after this one. If they do lose it, it will be La Cueva moving on to the quarterfinals, and they're looking possibly to be taking on Carlsbad, who Carlsbad won their first game yesterday. So we'll talk about that later. Pre-game show hasn't quite started yet. We're getting all the tech figured out, make sure it's going well. And they're still chalking the field right now and brooming that off here. It is a dirt field here and grass, of course, in La Cueva. No field turf whatsoever. So traditional style baseball here on the road today. Again, Hobbs taking on La Cueva. This is the first round of the 5A state playoffs. We'll come back with the pregame show in just a couple of minutes. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball on HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome, everyone, to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Time for Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball. Live on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty friend here in the Duke City as your Hobbs Eagles get ready to take on La Cueva. Hobbs, the number 14th seed, La Cueva at number 3. Of course, yesterday a big win for the Bears on their home field, 17-1 the final in that game. The hit count pretty much in the pocket of the La Cueva Bears, 14-2 in terms of the hits in that game. La Cueva had a lot of guys with multiple hits. In fact, Damon Saavedra, their second-man slot left fielder, he was 4 for 4, had 4 singles, 2 runs, and an RBI. Also, Chase Qualler finished 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Also an RBI and a couple of runs. And then a couple of guys with 2 hits apiece. Everett Burdett, who is the starting pitcher today, he did hit a home run. Scored a couple RBIs off of that as well. Had an RBI double, too, a walk, scored a run after that, so he's doing quite a bit of stuff. Mikey McMullen went 2 for 3, had a 4 RBI homer, all people coming around the bases on that one, and a walk that also scored a run after that, and a single. So had a couple of hits plus the walk, 3 times on base for him. And then it was Dylan Sofer went 2 for 3 with a 2 RBI double and a 2 RBI single, so big hits for him. This La Cueva team, on-base percentage at 61%, pretty big numbers there. They hit .519, 14 out of 27 in terms of at the plate in that contest. 14 hits, walked 6 times, and had 2 Ks against their name. And Dylan Blomker was the starting pitcher, went the distance in that one. It was kind of much of a shutout through much of the game, but Hobbs finally got in when Kestner hit that home run in the 4th inning to get it down to 17-1 at that point. So a little bit too late, though, for the Hobbs Eagles. Hobbs Eagles side of the coin, they did get the 2 hits. We mentioned Kestner with a 1-run homer for himself. That was his 5th of the year to tie up Hernandez on the team for top honors in the HR category. John Curtis went 1 for 1, had a double and a walk, so he definitely was getting himself on base the best he could. Hobbs 2 for 17 at the plate for 118 in that ball game. Only an on-base percentage of 16%, so they definitely got to get base runners in this game if they want to have a chance against La Cueva in Game 2. Hobbs had 130 pitches. In fact, they had a ton of guys at the plate for La Cueva in that, the 2nd inning, I believe, that they just went through the distance. I think it was like 10 batters that got up to the plate, but definitely getting a lot of chances to swing the bat and a lot of pitches having to be thrown by the Eagles. Then they had about 3 pitchers that hit the mound, including Utahara, who was the starter in that ball game. Not as many pitches for La Cueva, though, 75 for Dylan Blomker, so kept it down to reasonable numbers. He will not be the starter, of course, at the mound today, but he will be a first baseman as a starter. He's the LSU commit for the La Cueva Bears. They have several guys going Division I next year, so definitely a force to be reckoned with. Again, the Eagles had 2 hits. They were struck out 12 times by Blomker. Did get the 1 walk by Curtis, but had 3 errors defensively in the infield, throwing errors, etc. for the Eagles. They definitely got to get the hits going, but that's just a cliche. Base runners is where it's at. Hobbs definitely usually gets a lot of walks in games, but that game was definitely not one where they had a chance to move the guys around the bases. Hobbs, of course, with 9 seniors on the roster for this final game, for the second game, I should say. Possibility of a third game, we should mention, too, at 1 o'clock after this one. Utahara, Sullivan, Fuentes, Parrish, Hernandez, Montez, Kestner, and Sauter. 2 of those players for the Eagles have already signed letters of commit. Jaden Hernandez to go Western Texas, and Cole Kestner staying at Hobbs at New Mexico Junior College. So that's some good production there with those 2. Several other guys are still getting some bites here and there. Don't want to go on media with that quite yet, but congrats to Hernandez and Kestner punching their ticket to the next level. But 9 seniors, pretty comparable to La Cueva, who's got 11 seniors on the roster. Logan Ryder, we'll see him on the field today. Chase Qualler, who's also out there as a catcher. Everett Burdett, who'll be the starting pitcher. He's going to Oregon State. Brady McConkey, Caden Nurhood, several of these guys started yesterday. Mike McMullen, no, he's a sophomore, excuse me. Damon Saavedra, he's an outfielder. He's a senior. Dylan Blomker, we mentioned LSU commit. Luke Feist, he's going to UNM. And he's another senior. Chris Macias, he is a catcher that came on late in the game yesterday. And last but not least, Matthew Wood. So 11 seniors, but they still got a bunch of juniors coming up too. 7 on the roster, 2 sophomores. And for the Hobbs Eagles, 9 seniors, 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. So some youngsters that fill the slots for the Eagles next year. That's 8 players returning, 9 leaving on graduation. Hobbs coming in with a 12-15 record on the season, and with the win yesterday, La Cueva improved to 24-3, and also perfect on their home field, 11-0 on the season. So they are a force to be reckoned with. Coach Gerard Pineda, been with the team for quite a of their championship games so far. He's won in 2010 for the state, 2011, 2014, 2017, 18, 221, and 224. Of course, the 221 game was when the Eagles played against them. Hobbs is actually the number 2 seed, a better seed. Ended up losing that one 11-2. That was the COVID year where only 8 teams made the championship brackets. But Hobbs went pretty far. They knocked off Carlsbad 4-2 and then Sandia 2-0 in the prelim rounds to get to that championship championship game before losing to La Cueva. So Gerard Pineda definitely knows how to get championships, 7 under his name. This team, the program throughout the years, 12 championships throughout. He had 7 of those, and then Coach Stan McKeever ended up with a few himself, the other 5, starting in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So they've had several very quality coaches for the La Cueva Bears program throughout the years. Hobbs Eagles have been in the championship 4 times. Of course, we mentioned the 2021, losing to La Cueva 11-2. Coach Boyle, of course, was at that game, and a year where season got pushed way back. They played the championship in late June, so a kind of a difference. Throughout the summer, kids were playing baseball besides their summer ball, but definitely a good chance for the Eagles to win a championship that year. Way back to 1981, Eagles lost to the championship to Mayfield 2-1. Tim Van Hecke was the head coach. We had talked with a few older guys here at the inside the La Cueva field, and they were saying that they used to coach with Van Hecke back when he was in Hobbs. Some guys that one of the umpires, in fact, was talking to me after the game, and he said he was in Hobbs back in those days. 1980, they were in the championship the year before that against Sandia, lost 7-6 in a close one there. Coach Buzz Bell was the head man in that game. And finally, going all the way back to 1941, Hobbs lost in the championship game to Albuquerque Indian School in that one. So different configurations back then, not as many teams around in New Mexico at that point. But again, 4 state championship appearances. Hobbs looking to try to punch their ticket for an actual one that they win. But they got to get through 2 games today. Have to beat La Cueva here in game 2 and then come back in game 3 to knock off the Bears to move on to the quarterfinals. We're going to take a break here in Albuquerque. A pretty day, 80-plus degree temperatures. A few clouds in the sky, but pretty much blue right next to the Manzano Mountains. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back with Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome back to Albuquerque. Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball here. First round, second game of the best 2 out of 3 series. Eagles have to win both games today. If they don't win the second, though, there will not be a third. That would be scheduled for 1 o'clock after this one. Eagles losing yesterday 17-1. 14 hits for the Cueva Bears and 2 for the Eagles. As we take a look at the Eagles, first of all, in the field, at first base will be Souter, Taylor at second, Montez at third, Fuentes the shortstop, Sullivan in left, Phillips center, and Parrish in right. Starting pitcher Chase Brister coming in with a 2-5 record, his 10th game this year, and a 6.02 ERA for the Hobbs Eagles. Everett Burnett will be the starter on the mound for La Cueva in this one. Blomker, who was the winner yesterday on the mound, he's the first baseman. Ryder at second, McMullen at third. McConkey I love that guy from the Chargers, my favorite football team, playing some receiver there, but he is a shortstop for this La Cueva team. Qualler will be behind the plate at catcher, as Sebrader left, Nerhard at center, and Cantwell in right field. So there you have it in terms of the starting lineups. Eagles will start in their order: Taylor, Fuentes, Hernandez, and Kestner, 1 through 4. And for La Cueva, it's Qualler, Saavedra, Burdett, and McMullen in their batting lineup. Eagles wearing their black uniforms, white pants, and gold trim on the numbers. And it's going to be La Cueva's blue uniforms with the light blue names on the front, white pants. Hobbs kind of looks like the Padres out there. The sun kind of makes a weird reflection on their uniforms, makes it kind of a brown color, and the outline of the numbers looks like the Padres. Talking to one of the coaches, Coach Wright, about that. He said, yep, you're right about that. So when I got up closer in the dugout, you can see the black finally. But it's kind of weird. I don't know what kind of black that is. It's just a different kind that I've seen before. But we're on the road here in Albuquerque as we got both teams lined up ready for the national anthem. We'll take another quick break. Hobbs Eagles taking on La Cueva. Game 2, the best 2 out of 3 series. First round of the 5A playoffs. Coming back with you here in 1 minute. National anthem just wrapping up here in Albuquerque as La Cueva getting to host the Hobbs Eagles Game 2, the best 2 out of 3 series here in the first round of the 5A state playoffs. Eagles will be first at the plate. Of course, Everett Burdett will be the pitcher. He is already committed to Oregon State. He had a 3-hitter last week. He had another guy out there with him on the mound in relief, but against Sandia, that's a game they won 15-0. Against Sandia, the state champs from last year, defending state champs, beat them 15-0 in that last game of the season, regular season that is. Burnett also had a good bat in that game, doubled, tripled, and scored 4 runs. Actually, that was the first game he was an offensive threat. Blomker had a no-hitter the first game against Sandia. They won that one 6-0. But Blomker was the winning pitcher yesterday with that 17-1 victory here. Hobbs coming in 304 in terms of batting average. And trying to improve on the numbers from yesterday, 2 out of 17 from 118. Leading off will be Jaden Taylor. Taylor on the season is at 356 with his 26 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, also 10 walks. Currently third on the team in walks so far. and has a 44% on-base percentage, which is third best on the squad. Okay, not many hits coming on yesterday for the Eagles. In fact, the only hit was John Curtis's double, although Cole Kester with the HR. Can't forget that. The two hits for the Eagles. Just one walk recorded as well. Took 130 pitches for the Eagles to get done with the game. 75 from Blomker on the mound for the Bears. So Taylor up first as we're ready to go here in Albuquerque. Must-win game for the Eagles. Coming in at 12-15. Cueva at 23-3, 11-0 here at home. Listening live to HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. All free, of course, as we're getting ready for the first pitch. Fastball low and a low swing as well. It's going to be a chopper, but in foul territory. Going to bounce towards the La Cueva dugout near the side fence. Taylor, Fuentes, Hernandez, 1, 2, and 3 in the order. Burnett back up on the mound. Glove in front of his face here. The windup and the throw. Fastball high for ball. Evens up the count at 1-1. Taylor on the season at 44% on base percentage. Coming into this series here on the playoff side. Fastball swing and a miss. That'll be strike 2, 1-2 count now. Again, Eagles had 12 Ks yesterday, unfortunately, at the plate on Blomker's pitching. He's still kind of deciding, too, whether he's going to go with the draft, depending on where they get him. And if not, goes to LSU. He's the first baseman in this one. Fastball inside for another ball. Count goes to 2-2. Just underway here in Albuquerque. 5A playoffs. Carlsbad getting a win yesterday over Oregon Mountain. The winner of this game, or this series, I should say, will play either Carlsbad or Oregon Mountain. They have game 2 and 3 today. Right down the middle for the strike, and holding on it was Taylor, and takes the K. First strikeout of the game for Burnett, and that'll bring up Jason Fuentes, the shortstop. Fuentes steps up to the plate. First out for the Eagles, batting .349 is Fuentes. He has 29 hits this season. Burnett fires a fastball over his catcher Qualler's head, hits the backstop. Lost a little control on that one. Fuentes again, 29 hits, 4 doubles, a triple home run. The Eagles have 22 homers this season after the one for Kestner yesterday. Burnett comes back, a little bit more control on that one. Fastball right down the middle for the strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. The Eagles didn't have a hit through 3 batters until Kestner on his second chance at the plate. Another strike down the pike for a 1-2 count. Of course, Kestner with a HR in the 4th inning, scoring himself. Fortunately, Eagles were down at that point 15-0. That made it 15-1. Cueva added 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th to pretty much put it away. Fastball again, and that's going to be strike 3. Fuentes stepped up above the home plate that time, was thinking about swinging the bat, but then kind of looked away at the last second. It's already 2 Ks issued by Burnett. That'll bring up third in the order, Jordan Hernandez, and we mentioned earlier Western Texas already committed to them, so he's got himself punched a ticket for next year. Of course, he is the catcher for the Eagles, batting .369. Top batting average on the season for the Eagles. 27 hits, takes a fastball inside corner for the strike. Eagles watch a lot of pitches. Currently leads the team in RBIs with 32, 7 doubles and 5 home runs. He's tied with Kestner for the top honors there. Got to be a base runner for Hobbs with 2 down. Fastball comes inside. A knuckler hits his hand in the handle and just kind of bobbles into the fair territory, but they called the foul. It did touch him. Burnett was chasing it down near the first baseline off the mound there, and still went ahead and threw it to first just to make sure that that might change his mind on being a foul. Count those 0-2 as Hernandez got to protect the plate. He's third in the order for the Eagles. Hobbs started out yesterday's game with 3 Ks. Don't want to repeat that here. Burnett taking a little bit more time with the pitch. Fastball off the middle of the bat, going to go high over the backstop, over the press box. We're set up off the left of the home plate, right next to the La Cueva dugout. Again, Bears are 11-0 here at home, right near the Manzano Mountains. Pretty scenery here. Blue skies, a few wispy clouds around the area. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Burdett. This one is down to the ground, getting a piece of it. It rolls behind the catcher. Qualler throws it anyway to first. Boy, he still got him. Throws it to the right of the bag over there at first. I never thought there was no way he was going to be able to recover that one. But it looked like it did get a piece of the bat of Hernandez, but it'll be thrown out. So that'll be 3 up and 3 down for the Eagles. And trying to get down there as quick as he could was Hernandez. It did kind of a chopper, and then it went zing behind the plate and lost by Qualler, but he's able to recover it. So nobody on base, nobody gets home. We go to the bottom of the first. La Cueva at the plate. Your Hobbs Eagles 0-0 with the La Cueva Bears. We're back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Bottom of the first inning here in Albuquerque, La Cueva High School, side of the 5A first-round playoffs. La Cueva has a 1-up advantage so far with a 17-1 win yesterday. Eagles try to return the favor here in Game 2. Hobbs has to win this one to move on to a third game today. Would have to win that one, too, to move on to the quarterfinals. Hobbs with 2 Ks, and then a ground at the plate with a pick up and throw by Qualler to get the third out. Top of the order for the La Cueva Bears, Chase Qualler, the guy we just talked about. Qualler hit 3 for 4 yesterday with 3 singles, one of those an RBI. Scored a run as well. And in fact, all 4 of the top 1 through 4 in the order had multiple hits. 3 for Qualler, 4 for Saavedra, 2 for Burdett, and 2 for McMullen. Again, yesterday, La Cueva batting .519 in the contest, 14 hits out of 27 at-bats, on-base percentage of 61%, 6 walks and only 2 Ks against him. Eagles threw several pitchers in that one. Alan Udahara was the starter. Souter seeing some relief time as well for the Eagles. Again, Hobbs infield, Souter first, Taylor second, Montez third, Fuentes short, Hernandez behind the plate. Fastball down the middle for the strike. Holding on it was Qualler. Sullivan, Phillips, and Parrish left through right in the outfield. And Chase Brister on the mound. 2-5 record, 10th game of the season, and a 6.02 ERA. Here's the windup of the throw. Fastball down the middle for another strike. So Qualler in a hole now, 0-2. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Damon Saavedra, the left fielder, warming up here behind Qualler. Brister comes back, another fastball off the handle. It's going to be a bouncer down the third base line. Scooped and throw on the way. It's low, and he couldn't get taken out there at first. Souter, throw from Montez from third. Able to run it out, too, and try to flick the wrist on that scoop off the dirt there at first for Souter, but couldn't get it. So that'll be considered a single for Qualler. And now it's Damon Saavedra, the left fielder, up. He's 4 for 4 yesterday, all 4 singles. First one was an RBI added to it and had a couple of runs scored in his last 2 at-bats. So perfect, only perfect player for either team yesterday, except actually we got to give a shout out for 1 for 1 for the Hobbs Eagles. Curtis hit that double, also walked. Still scoreless here, bottom of the first, no outs, runner at first after a single from Qualler. Brister comes, showing butt now, get down that third base line. Another opportunity here from Montez. They call it dead as it rolls left at the last second, about halfway down that third base line. Still charging it was Montez. So no balls and a strike here to Qualler or Saavedra. Burdett and McMullen, 3 and 4 in the order. Pitcher's been in the order for both games. Blomker yesterday, and Burdett will be up in that third slot. Throw to first, and not in time. Getting back was Qualler. Brister will not bat for the Eagles. He'll be DH'd by Cole Kessner. Yesterday, of course, hit the home run. Was the first baseman. 0-1 pitch. Fastball. For the strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Not much of a win so far this morning. Again, we're at 11 o'clock start. Yesterday started at 4. Is that going to get some more cloud cover in the afternoon? I don't think it's going to affect us right here. This is a lefty, by the way, Saavedra. Well, Cueva dugout starting to applaud here. Fastball, it hits him in the butt, it looks like, and he's going to take a run down to first. Hit by pitch, Saavedra. So already 2 base runners for the Cueva Bears. I think we had one of those yesterday, if I remember right. Yeah, Christian Cantwell was hit by a pitch. That was it for the whole game. Osmond at home at Sportsman's Park, it seemed like they were averaging 2 or 3 hit by pitch a game. Either they were getting it or dishing it out to somebody else. Everett Burnett now, the pitcher in this one. Burnett was 2 for 3, had a home run with the 2 RBIs to add on. RBI double 2 earlier, and then a walk with the run scored. So a couple of runs in that ball game. Those first 3 at bats, they were 9 of 11 from the plate. So definitely some good hitting going on for those 3. Qualler, Saavedra, and Burnett. Boy, the curveball comes and almost knocks the helmet off of Burnett. Just able to throw his neck to the left to get out of that pitch direction. 1-0 count now to Burnett. Runners at first and second. Qualler by a single with Saavedra by a hit by pitch. No outs. Leadoffs at both bases now. As Brister taking a little bit more time to read the call from Hernandez behind the plate. Takes a look back at second to check the runner. Looks back again. Long stare down now. And a time called. Oh, they look like they started pointing to third. I thought they might have caught a balk on that, but he's just basically looking. So looked like the ump was pointing towards third for some reason, but hitter called time. Thank you, Coach. Yeah, I thought he was sending the runner to third. I didn't even see Brister even move off the rubber that time. Just kept looking back to second. So we're back in full motion here with the 1-0 count. Fastball well outside, and nice save by Hernandez to make sure that didn't go wild. Had to throw his body behind that first baseline, stretching outside the circle there behind the plate. Count goes to 2-0 now to Burnett. Pitcher versus pitcher here. Brister takes a lot of time between these pitches, kind of rolling that ball in his right thigh. Still keeping a look back at second. That time he comes off the rubber and pulled his knee up in the air there and decided not to throw, and didn't look like it. Taylor was going to get back to the base to be the recipient of that throw anyway, so he keeps it on the mound. 2 balls and no strikes to Burnett. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball goes low. Scooped out by Hernandez. Tried to get the ump to bite on that one, but below the knees on that pitch. Count to 3-0. Big lead up for Burnett here. Has a couple pitches to burn if he wants. Mikey McMullen will be up next, the cleanup man for Cueva. Fastball, and gets a strike back here. 3-1 count now to Burnett. Get a .519 batting average yesterday for the La Cueva Bears. 3rd team in the state in terms of seeding. That was kind of a question mark. Some people thought they might have moved up a little bit. A little change up there inside for the strike. Inside corner. Now a full count. Yeah, Rio Rancho number 1, Piedra Vista number 2. Both those teams winning yesterday. Only upset in the 5A was the Las Cruces knocking off Centennial. Of course, Hobbs beat Las Cruces. They're split with them earlier this season. Centennial, one of the top teams in that zone, but they're playing that in Las Cruces, so that's a big arch rival matchup. Full count pitch coming from Brister. Fastball off the middle of the bat. It's heading towards the left corner, left field. Going to go foul territory and chasing it down as Sullivan tries to get out there. Looks like he makes the catch on the run. Tight in the corner as he was in foul territory in front of the side fence. Hobbs fans very vocal. Thought it was the Cueva cheering, but it was Hobbs fans that were showing their enthusiasm for that fly out. Nice job to get out there by Sullivan, the senior, Hendrick Sullivan. So Burnett flies out to left in foul territory. That'll bring up McMullen. 1 down for the La Cueva Bears. McMullen, the 3rd baseman. He was 2 for 3. Did have the home run, scored 4 runs yesterday off that. Had a single and a walk as well. Another run on the walk.
Use your eyes.
Time called on that. Now back in the box goes McMullen. Still scoreless. One hit for the Bears. Start off with Qualler with the single. Runners at first and second. Fastball hits him in the left butt cheek there, and he's going to take another walk or freebie there. 2 hit by pitches so far off the pitching of Brister. Saavedra and McMullen both getting freebies, and kind of stretching out his gluteus maximus muscle now at that first base. That was a hard shot right in the thick of the meat there, for lack of better terminology. Sorry about that. Bases are loaded now for La Cueva with 1 down. Dylan Blomker, first baseman in this one. Blomker 1 for 4, had an RBI single to start with the run. After that, though, ground, fly, and fly. Curveball inside. This is going to go foul over the Hobbs Eagle dugout right. So he started off with a hit, ground to third, flew to left center, flew to right yesterday. So giving some outfielders some work for the Eagles in his last 2 at-bats. Also a zinger towards Fuentes. Brister trying to get himself out of a jam here with the bases loaded. Curveball, inside corner for the strike. Very impressed with the vocal nature of the Hobbs Eagle fans at this one. Really love that pitch. 0-2 count now to Blomker. Try not to leave anybody stranded here, although just 1 out. Definitely want to keep it out of double play territory, though, in the infield. Deep breath here for Brister on the mound. Turns and fires a fastball outside for the ball. Count goes to 1-2. Blomker in the 5th spot. Nerhood, Cantwell, Sofer, and McConkey to round out the order first time for La Cueva. Yesterday's game, they had 13 batters at the plate in the first inning, went up 9-0. Curveball inside. This is going out to right center. Going to take a couple of bounces. Rolls toward the fence and will knock off that. It's going to be picked up at center by Phillips. That's going to score a couple of runs. That'll make it 3 runs on a double. 3 RBI double. So cleared the bases on that one, and then he gets to stay at second. That's going to score Qualler, Saavedra, and McMullen. Blomker was not able to get to third after the throw coming in from Phillips. But an early lead here for La Cueva as they go up 3-0 here in the first or second game of the best 2 out of 3 series, round 1 of the playoffs. 3-0 your score. Caden Nerhood now up, the center fielder. He is 6th in the order. Nerhood 0 for 1 yesterday. Did get 3 walks, though, to get on base. Start off by getting on due to an error. Did score a run, had a stolen base, 2 in his first at-bat yesterday. Then after that, 3 walks in a row, and did score a run off the second walk. Still 0 for 1 at the plate. Still 3-0. 2 hits for La Cueva, single Qualler, double for Blomker, scoring the 3 runs. Fastball low and outside for the ball. 1-0 count now. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the first. We are slated for 7 in this game 1, or game 2 of the series. Brister keeps looking back at second. Checking Blomker out. Fastball goes low and outside. It goes to the backstop. Hernandez looked like he was shifted over to get it, and it went low and hit off the dirt. Sails back to the backstop. That's going to put Blomker in scoring position at third, and towering over Coach Pineda there, the third base coach and head coach of the La Cueva Bears. 7 state championships for Coach Pineda out of the 12 that they've had as a program over the years. Also had quite a few championships. Coach McKeever back in the early 2000s, and a low pitch on the fastball, walk down to Nerhood. So runners at first and third now. First walk of the ball game, although 2 hit by pitches. Come up now to 7th in the order, Christian Cantwell, the right fielder. He was 0 for 2. Did get a walk to start the game yesterday with the run. Flew to short and was hit by a pitch to get on. So actually should be 0 for 1. Then he was subbed out by Bachman, who struck out. Fastball, clips the outside corner for the strike. Lefty Cantwell. Brister still waiting for the call here from Hernandez, the catcher. Signal's being made, and he's happy with it. Leadoffs at first and third for the Blue squad here at home. Throws the fastball off the end of the bat towards left. It looks like it might curve foul, and hopefully it does, and it will get out of here. Foul territory. Kind of a nail biter there. Sullivan started to sprint over there, then saw the curve of it and just kind of held up. So fouled out there for Cantwell. Count goes to 0-2, so Cantwell will have to protect the plate here. Sofer and McConkey to round out the order first time for La Cueva. Only losses this season to Cibola, 1-run loss, 14-13. Lost to Cleveland as well, who's ranked second, won their game yesterday. Fastball low and inside, gets past Hernandez, and we got a steal to second, a slide to second. I don't think he had to do that out there, Nurhood, but he didn't know exactly where the ball was, so just being aggressive to get to that base. Second and third now covered with runners for La Cueva, trying to add on to their 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first off of 2 hits.
Come on, Christian, you got this, kid.
Still alive at the 1-2 count is Cantwell.
Line drive, kid.
And here comes the pitch from Brister. Fastball outside for ball 2. Count now 2-2. Fortunately, Hobbs Lady Eagles losing their game last night in softball action. That finishes up their season. Lovington Lady Cats are still working out today. They have a best of 3 series. They'll take on Maya Mira. That's here in Albuquerque at St. Pius High School. Fastball outside for the ball. Full count now, 3-2. Jowell Lady Panthers punched their ticket a few days ago in softball. So did Eunice to the next round for next week. So lots of teams still in the mix. Lovington baseball team is trying to pick off Artesia in the 4A. Number 1 in the state, the Bulldogs. Lovington lost yesterday, though. Curveball outside. That'll be a walk to Cantwell. Back-to-back walks issue now, Nurhood and Cantwell. And we're back to loaded bases again for La Cueva. Looks like the Eagles coaching staff's going to hold a little bit and let Brister continue to work this out here. They did have bases loaded a few minutes ago. And then that 3 RBI double by Blomker brought him home. He stayed at second. Dylan Sofer now, the DH. Sofer was 2 for 3, 2 RBI double, another 2 RBI single. Ground out to third as well. Fastball high, good eye for Sofer. Another kid's got some size out there for La Cueva, coming in with 11 seniors, 9 for the Eagles.
Stay back on this one, don't miss it.
The windup and the throw from Brister. Fastball cracked on the handle. That's going to go foul outside the third base line. Hard roll on that. Okay, we do have a dirt and grass infield here. Base pass dirt, of course, the traditional style. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball. HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cole 95.7 Facebook page. 1-1 count now to Sofer, 8th in the order for the Bears. Time called as he puts a big stop sign in the umpire's face there. Like he was getting ready to palm his mask off of him. Back in the box goes Sofer, waiting for the pitch from Chase Brister. Again, bases loaded with 1 down. Here's the windup and the throw. Fastball right down the middle for the strike. Count goes to 1-2. McConkey will be last in the order. He was 0 for 3 yesterday.
Good approach now. You got this.
Cueva trying to work on their 12th win of the season at home. They are 11-0 right now. Brister comes back, little changeup inside. Ooh, a leaping catch, a shortstop over the shoulder. Fuentes jumps up in the air. The ball looked like it was going to sail over his head, then just dove over the air over the shoulder and pulled that one down. A zinger to the glove there. Runner almost got thrown out to a third. He stayed there. Beautiful glove work there by Fuentes. He's running from right to left on the base pass. The ball was going over that shoulder of his right shoulder, and he just reached up in there with the glove, backhanded it, and pulled it down. And ESPN real stuff on that one. So 2 down. Fastball bounces off the dirt. Luckily, getting the pads on that one was Hernandez, the catcher for the Eagles. Just keep that from going wild. Bases are still loaded. 2 down for the Bears. McConkey at the plate, the shortstop. Ground to short, flew to catcher behind the home plate yesterday. So that's a kind of a warning to Fuentes to be on alert for McConkey, at least based on yesterday's performance. Fastball, little late swing off the handle, going to go over the backstop behind home plate. Hobbs Eagles looking to get back in playoff form here. Of course, they didn't get to come last year. Neither did Clovis or Roswell, just the Carlsbad Cavemen. Eagles had a long string of playoff appearances, though, but they're back to this season taking on La Cueva. Brister with the fastball low, and boy, over the top of it was McConkey. Like to have that one back. It sunk quickly as it hit the top of the, or near the front of the plate. Count goes to 1-2. Chase Qualler would start the order again for the Bears, who hit that single to start the game, also scored a run. Brister comes back with a fastball, kind of a lead-out swing. It's going to drop into right field off the bounce. Pulled down by Parrish and throws it in back towards the mound, and that will score a run. RBI single for McConkey. Coming in to make the catch from the relay was Souter. Souter going out towards the mound to make sure that ball didn't go where it shouldn't go, and kept the runners elsewhere, second and third. Bases actually loaded now, and that's going to make it 4-0 for the Bears. As scoring that run was Mikey McMullen, or correction, that was Blomker. Curve inside, going to be a high foul, or not foul, but fly ball to left center, and coming in to get it, the center fielder for the Eagles, Phillips, just called off his teammate Sullivan from left, said, I'll take care of this one, and halfway up through the outfield makes the catch. So the fly out for Qualler to start the order for La Cueva, but the third out at that. But 10 batters get to the plate for La Cueva, and they do manage to pick up a couple of or 3 hits, including a 3 RBI double from Blomker, a couple singles, Qualler and McConkey. They get 4 runs to come across, but leave 3 on base. Score now 4-0. We come back to the top of the second. Your Hobbs Eagles at the plate. Stay with us live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle playoff action here in Albuquerque. Pretty day for baseball, about the 80-degree mark. Blue skies, a few wispy clouds out there near the Manzano Mountains as the Hobbs Eagles trail 4-0 to head to the top of the second. Cueva scoring those 4 runs off 3 hits, a single, Qualler and McConkey on those, and the 3 RBI double from Blomker. Bears also walked a couple of times and were hit by 2 pitches. So they had a lot of base runners and a total of 10 at bat for La Cueva. Hobbs now 4th in the order. The cleanup man, Cole Kestner, hit his 5th homer of the season to tie Hernandez, the leaderboard for the HRs. Kestner the DH in this one. Definitely glad to get his bat back, although he's not on the defensive side in this one so far. He's batting .333 this season on 26 hits, 25 RBIs, 6 doubles, a triple, and 5 homers we mentioned, 11 walks as well, second on the team in the walks. Fastball, hard slap towards right field, and it's got to go bounce a couple of times, hit the wall. Having to chase it is Cantwell, the right fielder. That's going to be a double. Talk about the strong hit there for Kestner. After the home run yesterday, you can hear the whack of the bat on that one. So a double for Kestner, first hit of the game for the Eagles. And you can hear the Hobbs fans really getting juiced up here in La Cueva. Kestner yesterday again had that home run. He was 1 of 2, struck out the first time, but not this time. He's Jacked that hard, and that's about 355. He didn't go all in the air towards the fence, but it did roll into it. Tristan Montez now the third baseman, fifth in the order. Montez 0 for 2 yesterday, a couple of flyouts to center, so he did get some contact. Big lead off at second for Kestner. Got to be smart on the base paths. Got to take advantage of every base runner. Fastball, swing and a miss for Montez. Ball heading outside just a bit. He came over the top of it. Montez, 329 this season. He's got himself 23 hits, 6 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs, 6 walks. Taking some time now is Burdett. Looks back at second, looks back again. Long delay, now here's the pitch. Fastball, zinger right to the glove for the strike. Montez held on that one. Souter, Parrish, Sullivan, and Phillips to round out the order for the Eagles for the first time. Kestner tasting a chance to try to score to get in this game, down 4-0 here in the top of the second. Slated for 7 innings. Second game of the best 2 out of 3 for the first round of the 5A. Time called. The lefty steps out, Montez. Back in the box goes Montez. Trying to help Kestner around the bases if he can. Fastball high and outside for the ball. Count goes to 1-2. Kestner getting back safely to second. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball. Exclusive coverage on Cool 95.7's Facebook page, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Very deliberate Burdett on the mound. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball comes inside for the ball. Count to 2-2. Good eye for Montez. In yesterday's game, Cueva had 9 runs in the first, 6 in the third, 2 in the fourth. The Eagles with their run in the fourth. 17-1 the final. Get you some update scores on some of those other games yesterday. All those are best 2 out of 3 series. Only one upset we mentioned earlier. That was Las Cruces beating Centennial. Curveball inside. A hard whack on that one. It's going to go foul, though, outside the first baseline. On the Eagles side of the bracket, it was Carlsbad knocking off Oregon Mountain 9-2, 6 beating 11. El Dorado knocked off Rio Grande 8-4, 7 beating a 10. And Cleveland barely getting by Sandia 4-1. Sandia, the defending state champs, though, they're ranked seeded 15th in this tournament. Cleveland at number 2. So no upsets on our side of the bracket. Talk about the other side here in just a minute. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Burdett continues to face Montez. The windup in the throw. Fastball. Outside for the ball. You can just see Qualler just held on to it. The catcher kept the glove right there to see maybe if the ump might give him a strike on that one. Didn't get it. Full count now. 3-2 to Montez. Kestner kind of zigzagging back and forth, leading off at second. No outs for the Eagles, down 4 here in the top of the second. Kind of bouncing a little bit as Montez, the lefty. Again, Burdett taking as much time as he can on the pitch. Fastball low and inside for the ball. Walk issued to Montez. Base runners important and premium for the Eagles. Only had 1 walk yesterday. That was picked up by Curtis. Take your base runners any way you can. Jackson Souter now, first baseman in this game. Souter batting .120 this season. His total of 6 hits and a home run to his name. One of the 22 homers the Eagles have had this season. Souter just wanted to make some contact. Another lefty out there. Now going to show bunt. Kind of taps at it. Is going to roll right in front of me here, left of the home plate. The La Cueva dugout. Shallow bunt and completely behind plate. The minute it touched the end of his bat. Kind of pouncing out there and jabbing at it with a spear was Souter. Of course, Souter seeing some relief action on the mound yesterday in relief of Utahara. Wagging the bat by his left ear now is Souter. Of course, his twin out there. I always get him and Kestner mixed up with the body style there. They look like exact same. Another bunt. This one's going to go right back to the pitcher. Comes in front of the mound. Burdett turns and fires. Is he there in time? Wait a sec. Yep, he's safe. So they're going to go ahead and get a single on that one. No mishandle or anything. It just took a little bit of time for Burdett. Nice place bunt just in front of the pitching mound. Made Burdett come off the mound in just a minute. So another hit for the Eagles. They got two of them now, a double and a single. Luke Parrish now, seventh in the order, the right fielder, time called. And the infield going to have a little discussion and have a talk to Burdett, the pitcher. We'll take a break. 30-second. We'll be back. Hobbs down 4-0, but knocking on the door with a runner at third. That's Kestner wanting to come in. Coming off the bat of Parrish. We'll see what happens in 30. Back live here in Albuquerque. Little discussion on the mound for La Cueva. They're ready to go. Burdett's still out there to pitch to Luke Parrish. Parrish no count yet. Runners at all three bases for the Eagles. Bases loaded. Fastball. Swing and a miss for Parrish. Count goes to 0-1. So Kestner at third. Montez second. Souter at first. Kestner got a double. Montez a walk. Souter a single to get where they are now. Burdett takes the pitch call that he wants from Qualler. Fastball off the end of the bat. Late swing, going to be foul. Takes a roll to the right side fence near the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Contact good, but a little late. Couldn't get that thing evened out where he wanted it, out into the field. 0-2 count now. Got to protect as Parrish. Trying to score some runs here. Eagles down by 4, top of the second, time called as Parrish comes out of the box. Got continued coverage of all Lee County teams in the playoffs. Don't forget, we got softball, Eunice and Jowl, and Lovington still to come. Fastball, low and outside for the ball. Count goes to 1-2. So softball, we got 3 teams remaining in the field. And baseball, your Hobbs Eagles on right now, of course. Lovington Wildcats playing Artesia today. Eunice Cardinals, number 1 ranked team in 2A ball. Here's the windup for the throw from Burdett. Fastball, check swing. That's going to be a strikeout. Parrish thought about swinging, but kind of a flinch on it and takes the K, unfortunately. That's the third K of the game for the Eagles, and out number 1. 4-0 lead for La Cueva. Listening live to Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Hendrick Sullivan up now, one of the seniors, one of the 9 seniors, left fielder. First time at the plate, did not get to the plate yesterday. Takes a fastball, gets a piece of it, but it drops quickly near his feet. Got caught on the bat and his arm that time, went down to the ground. Sullivan comes into the contest and the series on the season at 182. Got himself 2 hits so far, a double, and 1 walk. 0-1 count, 1 out for the Eagles. Bases loaded, trying to get on the scoreboard. Fastball clips the outside corner for the strike. Count goes to 0-2 now. Hobbs has several lefties on the team, and he's one of them. 8th in the order for Hobbs, and Carson Phillips to round out the order for the first time up next. He will get a chance to swing the bat. Here's the windup for the throw from Burdett. Fastball, high and outside for the ball. Runners have to sprint back to their bases. Do not want to get picked off here. As Kestner's at third, Montez second, Souter at first. Just got to get this thing out in the outfield, even if it's on the ground a little bit. Single would score a run. Burnett coming back with a fastball, goes down low off the end of the bat. It's going foul quickly. That Kestner was already halfway down that third baseline heading home and just put on the brakes. He knew that was foul and kind of walking gingerly back to third. Had to duck. He was afraid that he's going to get his head taken off by McMullen, the third baseman, tracking it down. Count now 1-2 to Hendrick Sullivan. Brister with the fastball high, swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3. Back-to-back Ks issued by Burdett, and 4 Ks in the game for the Eagles. Last of the order now, Carson Phillips, the center fielder. Phillips went 0 for 2 yesterday with a couple of Ks. And for the season, batting .274, has himself 17 hits, 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run, and has scored 23 times so far. But again, would like to have at least a 6th RBI of the season, try to get at least 1 runner home, which is Kestner at third. Fastball goes low and outside for ball 1. Eagles with a double from Kestner, a single from Souter. They're 2 hits. Montez has picked up a walk, 4 Ks. I don't want to leave 3 on base in this top of the second. Time called. Phillips pulls out. Back to the righties now at the plate for the Eagles. Wind's about 5 miles per hour. Not much of an issue here in this game. Sun definitely will be out in the outfield and the infield for that matter. Here's the windup in the throw from Burdett. Fastball and a quick throw down to first. Qualler, boy, he jumped out of nowhere, the catcher, and fired that hard down to first. Luckily, Souter was lingering and stayed real close to the bag that time at first and got back. It's been a while since I've seen a catcher do that. I mean, you see him throw the bases, but boy, that was a rocket. Off the launch pad quickly on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down for the Eagles. Bases loaded. Big pitch coming to Phillips here. Fastball down the middle for the strike as Phillips held on it. So now a 1-2 count. Some pressure coming on here. Got to make some contact. Don't sit watching on this one. Got to get these runners around to get some points on the scoreboard. 1 ball and 2 strike. Another time called. Phillips taking a big sigh, big breath, and shoulders up and down here. Back in the box he goes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burdett turns and fires. Fastball and gets the inside corner for the K. Phillips didn't swing the bat, and that's going to cost the 3 Ks in a row there, the 5th of the ball game. So Hobbs is going to leave 3 on base. They get 2 hits, 1 walk, no runs come across. Had their shot on that one, 4-0 though. La Cueva heads to the bottom of the second at the plate. We'll be back in 60 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Colt 95.7 Facebook page. Bottom of the second inning here in Albuquerque, the Duke City, host of the 1A, or make it the 5A playoffs. Second game of the best 2 out of 3 series. Hobbs lost game 1 17-1. Have to win this one to force a 3rd game. Mentioned some of the scores from earlier from our side of the bracket, but the other side of the bracket, number 1 Rio Rancho shutting out Atrisco Heritage 14-0. Mayfield got a win over Los Lunas 8-9, 6-4. Piedra Vista, number 4 seed, beating Clovis Big 11-1. That's a 4 beating a 13. And then we mentioned the upset. Las Cruces High getting past Centennial 1-0 there in Las Cruces. That's a number 12 beating a number 5, but those are arch rival teams in the same town. So those teams in the other side of the bracket. First pitch, a strike outside, or actually a ball outside 2 on the second fastball. So 2-0 count now to Damon Saavedra, who was hit by a pitch back in the first, got a run soon thereafter. 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. 3 hits so far for La Cueva. Fastball, a little flinch, check swing, and a strike called against Saavedra. Count now 2-1. He's second in the order for the Bears. And he was perfect yesterday, 4 for 4, all 4 singles. Little change-up look, outside, swing and a miss for Saavedra. Chase Brister on the mound, working, trying to get his first K of the ball game here against Saavedra. Quick return, fastball off the handle, going to go foul outside first base on the right of the bag. Trying to backhand it for the Eagles was Souter and almost ran into his coach there on the side. Not his coach, La Cueva coach, I should say. Even up count now, 2-2, no down for the Bears. Lefty Saavedra still at the plate. Al Brister going to slow things down a little bit before taking the pitch call. Fires the curveball inside, going to go high in the air towards left center. Backpedaling shortstop Fuentes makes a one-handed catch. Good backup from behind by Phillips from center to come behind him. So that was heading towards left center, and the two congratulate each other on the good combo there. Fly out for Saavedra. Second one that's been hit out there. I think both of those were caught by Fuentes too on the back pedal. Third in the order, Everett Burdett, the pitcher in this game, flew to left back in the first inning. Of course, had the 2 hits yesterday, including a home run and a single RBI double. Fastball high for the ball. I know another pitcher that will be available today is Parrish. He didn't play yesterday. He's out there in right field right now. I'm just kind of thinking about some other pitchers, not to say Brister doing anything wrong at this point, just kind of thinking about it a bit because pitch counts are matter in the playoffs. Got to rotate your people properly and make sure that you don't burn people out or get them DQ'd for the next game or a few games down the line because you don't have as much games to pick from. 2-0 count. Brister with the fastball. Clip it down for a strike. The count goes to 2-1. 4-0 game here in the bottom of the second, favor of the home team Bears. Here's the windup and the throw from Brister, a little changeup, and this will be golf swinged out for the foul towards the La Cueva dugout, bouncing off the side fence. Late rotation on the bat there for Burdett. Burdett going to Oregon State. So he'll be a Beaver there on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest. Here's the 2-2 coming from Brister. Fastball. That'll be a hard shot out to center. Shifting to left a little bit to get the scoop on it is Phillips, center fielder for the Eagles. So a single for Burdett. That will be the 4th hit of the ball game for La Cueva. Time called. Looks like they're sending a runner out there for La Cueva. That's going to be Hathaway, one of their backup catchers, just a sophomore. Remember, there's only 2 sophomores on this team. 18 upperclassmen, 11 seniors, and 7 juniors. So they got some shoes to fill. They already got 7 juniors coming back, though. That'll gobble up some of those positions. Mikey McMullen now at the plate, the cleanup man, hit by a pitch in the first. Got to run eventually after that. Still a 4-0 ball game, bottom of the second. 1 down for the Bears. Brister turns and fires a fastball, high swing, and it's going to go high towards right center. Shifting over to the right to make a one-hander on the catch, Phillips. So Phillips getting some workouts now here in this second inning. Caught 2 out there. That's second out for La Cueva. Blomker in next, the 5th in the order. 3 RBI double, cleared the bases for La Cueva in the first. Had a run scored later after that. Didn't get to score on the double, but his teammates did. 2 down, though, for the Bears. Runner at first. Quick throw to first. And runner back well in time. The Bear coaching staff sniffed that one out and yelled before that ball was even halfway thrown. Definitely don't want to have their runners picked off in this situation, trying to add on to a 4-0 lead. After 4 hits so far, fastball inside for the ball. Count goes to 1-1. Correction, 1-0. Cueva in the blue, Hobbs in the black, which kind of looks like Padres look in this game. Sun kind of shining weirdly on those uniforms. Looks like kind of the Same gold outline you see with the Padres. Fastball down low for the ball. But we're not all here about fashion, that is for sure. 2-0 count now to Blomker.
That could be a good one, kids.
Game 3, if needed, will come after this one. A few-minute delay before that one gets started. Hobbs has to win this game, though, first. Winner's going to take on the winner of the Carlsbad Oregon Mountain Contest. They have Game 2 going on this morning. Carlsbad won the first game at home against the team out of Las Cruces. 2 balls and no strikes. Brister facing Blomker. Blomker was the starter yesterday on the mound for La Cueva. Curving inside. This will be fouled high in the air over the Hobbs Eagle dugout right side of the field. And see all the fans turning back to see where that's going towards the La Cueva softball field next door.
Let it travel.
16 teams in the playoffs, of course. That'll be whittled down to 8 as we progress throughout this Saturday afternoon. All games best 2 out of 3. Brister fastball almost took off the chin of Blomker. Ball loose and wild, and ball knocked off the backstop and rolled to the left of the field. Boy, that took a major bounce. As chasing it down was Hernandez. Actually put him in better position if he needed to throw it to second. Runner definitely there way in time. That's Burdette. Kind of a balloon roll as it hit the middle of the backstop and just kind of jetted out towards the La Cueva dugout left of the field. 3-0, 3-1 count now to Blomker. Again, he's going to LSU next year, or kind of waiting to see what the draft's going to be offering him. Time called as he steps out of the batter's box.
Get a line drive somewhere. Keep it out of the air.
Cueva had some productive bats yesterday, 14 hits. And they had 5 guys with multiple hits in that one. 4 for Savader, 3 for Qualler. Brister comes with a fastball, swing and a miss. Nice hard pitch there for Brister to get it through and to get this to a full count, 3-2. Just need 1 out here to close down this second inning and not giving up a run. Hobbs Eagle defense. Still facing a runner at second, though. That is Burdette being very patient out there. Brister with a drop ball that bounces off the turf or the dirt, and unfortunately that's going to walk Blomker. 3rd walk of the game for La Cueva. A couple other guys got walks in their last at-bats. Nerhood and Catwell due up next for the Bears. Nerhood walked in the first, the center fielder. Still 2 down, but runners at first and second. The force out at third as Caden Nerhood steps up. Of course, the Eagles not in the playoffs last year, but here at this one, and weren't sure where they're going to be put in the seeding with their last 2 losses to Carlsbad, but had been ranked near 11th most of the season at the Max Preps poll. Curveball hits the inside corner for the strike from Brister. Hobbs with the 2nd best strength of schedule in the state in the 5A. Number 1 was Carlsbad. So they definitely played some tough teams with some tournaments, and the Clevelands, the Rio Ranchos, those type of schools. Piedra Vista, all ranked in the top 5 this season. Fastball swing and a miss for Nerhood. Kind of surprising, too. La Cueva, not one of the top teams in terms of strength of schedule. In fact, there were 6 teams with a stronger strength of schedule than they had out of the top 11. Hobbs is the 11th team in the Max Preps poll as the season ended, so 6 teams with better strength of schedules. Ball outside on the fastball. Count goes to 1-2 on the ball. Of course, a lot of these Albuquerque teams spend a lot of time in their hometown or Rio Rancho next door and play a lot of games in district and, of course, non-district opponents and other even 4A squads too. So lots of competition available up here. Just recently, Albuquerque schools were able to start traveling out of state too. I know football had started to do it in Arizona, and other teams going to Colorado, other seasons and sports as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes as the time was called. Here comes a pitch from Brister. Bounces it off the ground, right off the chest protector too of his catcher Hernandez. A nice job of popping up there and using his body in front of that ball to make sure it didn't get past. Still got the runners to advance though. Took a little bit of time to track it down. 2nd and 3rd are covered up with runners now for the Cueva. There are 2 outs and a 2-2 count now to Nerhood. Brister not wasting a lot of time. Comes back with a fastball off the end of the bat. Hard shot to short. Fuentes, nice backhand. Throws to first and makes a connect. Boy, some acrobatic plays from Fuentes in this ball game, getting oohs and ahs from both sets of fans in this La Cueva Stadium. So definitely taking care of business is Fuentes. And La Cueva does get one hit. No runs come across. They leave 2 on base. Go to the top of the third. Still 4-0. La Cueva leading on their home field here in Albuquerque. Hobbs coming to the bat. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Four zero ball game here in Albuquerque. La Cueva, the number 3 seed, leading number 14 Hobbs here in the top of the third. Hobbs to come to bat. Eagles shutting down the 0 from scoring in that bottom of the second, thanks to some good plays there for Fuentes at short, and also Phillips out in center field taking care of some outs as well. So far, 4 hits for La Cueva. They've got 3 singles, Qualler, Burdette, and McConkey, and a 3 RBI double from Blomker. Hobbs with a couple of hits as well, double from Kestner and a single from Sauter. Go to the top of the order, second time of the game, or first time in the second go-through. Jaden Taylor leading it off. He struck out back in the first. Hobbs has had 2 hits, 5 Ks, 1 walk, 3 left on base. Curveball inside. He gets a piece of it, goes high in the air behind center, or behind the home plate, goes over the backstop. Chasing it to the net, though. Got hustled by Qualler. Flipped that mask off quickly outside the circle and was chasing to the net. Thought he might have a chance for that for a second. Not a lot of wind here, so it didn't look like it blew it. It just, the ball just continued to pick up over the net there and go into the middle grandstands. Still on the mound for La Cueva, Everett Burdette. As he faces Taylor. Fastball, clips the inside corner for the strike. 0-2 count now to Taylor. Plate protection on his mind, I'm sure, on this one. Next pitch coming from Burdette. Here comes the windup and the throw. Fastball, and that'll be the strike. And a little bit of a ball move or a glove movement there by Qualler. I think that might have got to catch the ump side. Looked like a little inside, but glove takes up a lot of space, so went ahead and called the strike on that one. So Taylor with 2 Ks, and that'll be a total of 6 Ks issued by Burdette. Here as we're in the top of the third, 1 down for the Eagles. Jason Fuentes now up. He struck out back in the first inning. Here comes Burdette with the fastball. Right to that inside corner again for the strike. Burdette usually a little hesitation as he gets when the windup. He'll kind of stop for a second and unload the pitch. Not taking as much time as we saw in the earlier innings. Fastball at the end of the bat, high one, but it's going to go foul quickly to the right corner. Boy, that first baseman is chugging out there, Blomker. Also that right fielder, Cantwell. But Blomker was doing a 40 sprint for a NFL combine, it looked like. Lost his hat, Empire gives it back to him, and he was by the side fence, deep right corner of the foul territory there. Definitely wanted to get an out there for his La Cueva Bears D. Back in the box goes Fuentes. 4-0 lead for La Cueva here in the top of the third, slated for 7. Game 2 of the best 2 out of 3 series, first round of the 5A playoffs. Curveball inside, hard chopper to the short. McConkey fires across the field and gets the out. He was backed up halfway on the dirt towards the green, but stepped up and threw a hard one as he connects to Blomker off the 6-3. So ground out for Fuentes to short. That brings up Jaden Hernandez now, the West Texas commit. He ground out behind home plate. Actually, ball got dropped and it was thrown out to first. Curve inside, golf swing towards the Cueva side of the field to the dugout left. And as one of the leaders on the team, actually has the best batting average right now, 369 with 27 hits. Definitely wants to get himself on base. A 69% on base percentage too. Curveball inside. This is going hard out to left field. Takes a roll to the wall. Should be at least a double. Take a little bit of time for the center fielder to get over there, Newhard. And that will be a double as he turns and faces his dugout on the far other side of the field there and registers his enjoyment on that double. Yesterday, Hernandez did not get a hit. Was 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks, but not this game. Double. Third hit for the Eagles. Second double. Kester had the other one, and he's next up. The DH got his double back in the second inning. So Eagles have a runner at second. Get the umpires back to their positions in the infield. So Kestner with some power for the Eagles. He's 59% in terms of on-base percentage, or 42%, excuse me. Kestner at 333 this season. Got the homer yesterday. Fastball bounces off the dirt, but the knees were closed there for Qualler to save it from going wild. Runner stays at second is Hernandez after the double. 4-2 hit count in favor of La Cueva at this point. Hobbs going to try to match it up here. Burnett looks back at second a couple of times. Third time. Now he'll throw the fastball off the middle bat and going to go foul. Kestner kind of throwing his arms up in the air. He was hoping he could straighten that out just a bit. And then does a little flip of the baton there in the air and caught the bat. No balls and a strike to Cole Kestner. Thanks to his dad giving me a bottle of water here just a second ago. Slowing it down now again is Burdett. Starting to speed up some pitches. Now going with the fastball inside for the ball. Jumping back was Kestner. That might have sold the ump on that one a little bit. 2 down for the Eagles. So definitely like to keep the base runners going. Hernandez at second, eager to get around those bases to get the first run of the ball game for Hobbs. Down 4-0. Here's the windup of the throw. Fastball inside. Another good eye for Kestner for the ball. Count goes to 2-1. Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball exclusive coverage on HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Like when I can get the B in the 2 part, I keep saying U2. Make it easier. I need to chop that B out of there. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Cole Kestner. Time called. He was not liking the delay that Burnett was showing out there on the mound. Trying to get into his psyche just a little bit. Of course, Kestner going to be with New Mexico Junior College next year. Burnett with a deep side, takes a breath, looks back at second. Fastball, hard shot to the second, third gap out in left field. Are they going to send the runner? Yes, they will. Continuing through is Hernandez. The throw home way short, and that'll be a run scored. RBI single for Kestner. Eagles on the scoreboard. And as Hernandez comes home. So Hobbs getting their first run of the ball game. Yesterday it took to the 4th inning to score that home run for Kestner, but he'll do it off an RBI this time. So Hobbs now 4-1 down, 3 runs. Gets the 3rd team in the state, La Cueva. Apologize for my scoreboard. We've got a overheating issue now with my cell phone, which is what we do to cover the score. So it is 4-0. Try to get this thing cooled down as quickly as I can here. 4-1 your score. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball coming over the top of it is Montez. He walked back in the second. Swing and a miss on that one. Definitely wanted that pitch back as taking a golf club instead of a bat. And knowing how cell phones work nowadays, it's going to be a while for this thing to cool off. So bear with me. It's going to be an audio call on the score here, 4-1. Hobbs down by 3 here in the top of the 3rd. Fastball, swing and a miss for Montez. All 4 runs coming for La Cueva back in the 1st inning. Kestner 2 for 2 in the game, double and single so far. He's at first. Only guy on the bases right now with 2 outs. Back to a delay. Here's Burdette. The lefty Montez waiting for the pitch and just kind of waggling the bat around, taking a lot of 360 swings on the bat. Practice swings, that is. No pitch clock here. Fastball low, and got him on that one. Montez swinging over the top for the strikeout. 7 Ks issued, and that'll be out number 3. So Eagles threatening, get a couple of hits. They get a run to come across off the RBI single for Kestner, but leave him on the bases. Hobbs now down 4-1 here going to the bottom of the 3rd to La Cueva. La Cueva at the bat. The home team, 11-0 record here at home. They're coming up to swing here in just a minute. Back live here in the Duke City, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hobbs Eagles trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Eagles getting their first run in the ball game. Off an RBI single for Kestner, scoring Hernandez, who had a double prior to him. Up for the Bears, the lefty Christian Cantwell walked back in the first inning. Little changeup look goes outside, gets past Hernandez, the catcher, off the pitch from Brister. The starter for the Eagles came in with a 2-5 record, his 10th game of the season, an ERA of 6.02 heading into this second game of the best 2 out of 3. First round of the 5A state playoffs. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball high and outside for the ball. Count goes to 2-0 for Cantwell. He's 7th in the order for the Bears. Soper and McConkey to round it out for the second time. Fastball inside, swing and a miss over the top by Cantwell for the strike. Count to 2-1. Hobbs Eagle playoff coverage on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, exclusive. Cantwell waggling that bat behind his left ear. Fastball, same spot, over the top again as Cantwell for the strike. And a count now to 2-2. 4 hits so far for La Cueva. No wasted time here. Brister, check swing on the fastball. That's going to go out left corner for the foul. Deep in the outfield zone. It looks like Sullivan just stayed where he was at. He could see the curve on that one pretty quickly, the left fielder for the Eagles. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cantwell. Brister taking a little bit more of a pause. Didn't like the pitch call from Hernandez. Now he's going to take it. Little change-up look. Outside, and holding on it was Cantwell. Takes a K. First K of the game by Brister. Strikeout for Cantwell. He held solid on that one, paid the price, taking a seat in the dugout, and that'll bring up Dylan Sofer, 8th in the order, ground to short. A lot of shots being hit towards Fuentes in this game, and boy, he's had some acrobatic plays on him. Here comes Brister again. He's going to go quick with the pitch. Fastball, this goes through the slot and gets past Fuentes. Closer to third, though, than it was to the shortstop, who was halfway between. So that'll be a single for Sofer, his first hit of the ball game, and number 5 for La Cueva. Bottom of the order now, Brady McConkey had an RBI single back in the first. Still 4-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd. Almost halfway through here in Albuquerque. Game 2. Eagles would like a game 3, but have to win this one. Within shouting distance, down by 3. trying to keep La Cueva from scoring. They didn't let him score in the second. Throw to first, a little late, and getting back in time with Sofer. Of course, Hobbs has a signature win against Cleveland earlier this season. Second-seeded team in the state. They got the win in their first game of their best-of-3 series. Fastball clips the inside corner for McConkey for the strike. All the games had the projected winners, except we mentioned the win for Las Cruces over Centennial. Both teams from Las Cruces, obviously, so that kind of amps up that series. Curve inside. This is heading out to center, and the center fielder was already pushed up. Phillips just waited for it. Barely had to shift to the left just a bit. Halfway out there in center field and gets the fly out. So a lot of work for both Fuentes and Phillips in this game. That'll be out number 2 for La Cueva. Top of the order for the third time, Chase Qualler, the catcher. He's 1 of 2, single and a run in his first at bat. Flew out to left center to Phillips in the second one. Cueva trying to add on to a 4-1 lead with their 5 hits so far. Fastball down the pike for the strike on Qualler. Once again, we're having some issues with the overheated cell phone, so the score, let's have to be oral for a few minutes here. 4-1 again, 3-run lead for La Cueva. So ignore what you're seeing on the screen. It might be the one that was there before. Fastball high, popping up quickly was Hernandez. Thought about throwing it to first, but the base runner's back in time. That's Sofer at first. 80-degree temperatures here in Albuquerque today. Looks like I got my screen back here. Curveball inside, heading out to left. This is going to take a bounce. A couple hops, gets through the legs of Sullivan out in left field. That's going to let the runner get to second. And that might be a chance for a runner to come around home, and will. So I think that probably would have been a double regardless, but Sullivan does had that ball go through his legs. So Qualler will get an RBI double and will score Sofer. So this one he thought the Eagles were going to shut down La Cueva here in this bottom of the third. They add another score to the scoreboard and get my phone to work again. So make it 5-1. Try to get you an update on the Lovington softball game that's going on today at St. Pius. They're taking on Mayamura in the 4A playoffs. 5-1 your score here in the bottom of the third. And we do got the scoreboard back up. Sorry about that. Got some heated electronics out here right in the heat of the sun. Fastball inside for ball 1. Damon Saavedra, second in the order, hit by a pitch in the first, scored a run, flew to left center in his second at bat. Chase Brister on the mound for your Eagles, the starter. 2 outs, 1-0 count, little changeup, low, very low pitch, and off the knees of Hernandez, able to keep it in front of him, though, to keep the runner at bay at second. Saavedra second in the order. Burdett and McMullen due up next if they can get up to the plate with 2 out. Runner still at second, waiting to come across. 5-1, run has come across in this inning. Hobbs scored first, and La Cueva's matched that here in the third. Big slowdown here for Brister. Looks at second, fires a fastball low, same spot, and saved by Hernandez. Put those knee pads down in the dirt. 3-0 count now. Couple of pitches to burn for Saavedra. Of course, he was 4 for 4 yesterday. We keep mentioning his 4 singles. Also had an RBI and 2 runs. The windup in the throw from Brister. Fastball comes low, and a little movement of the glove there for Hernandez to try to move it up just a bit. Couldn't get the change of the call there, so that will be a walk. 4 walks now for La Cueva's O. That brings up third in the order Everett Burdett, who's the starter on the mound in this game for La Cueva. He's 1 of 2, flew to left, and then got a single. 6 hits in the game for La Cueva. And for the Hobbs Eagles at 3. Two outs here, and the Force out would be a third. Runners at first and second. Brister with the fastball. A little bit inside for the ball. Cueva undefeated in district, 10-0. Eagles were 2-4. Of course, Carlsbad winning their district, 6-0 record. Have a one-game lead in the best of 2-3 series against Oregon Mountain. They defeated yesterday at home. Fastball, ooh, hits him right in the chest. And Burnett, not a happy camper. He jacks the bat back to the dugout and kicks the ball into foul territory outside the first baseline. I think that hurt a little bit. No chest protection for the batters or base runners in this high school league here. He was not happy. I think they're going to get a runner in for him anyway. So hit by a pitch is Burnett, as they're going to send in that sophomore again. That's Hathaway. Yep, he's coming off the field right now and not smiling whatsoever. Got a base for the Bears, but not the way he wanted it. Same for Brister on the mound. Mikey McMullen now hit by a pitch as well back in the first and flew to right center. So alert out to Phillips in center field and working both left and right, making some catches for the Eagles. Brister with the windup in the throw. Little change-up look down the middle for the strike. Runners at all bases now loaded up. He's had to face this a couple of times early in the ball game. Got out of one of those. They left 3 on at one point. Still a 5-1 ball game. Fastball, ooh, it hits the hand right above the handle, right on the knuckles of McMullen. He throws his hand up in the air, wincing in pain. And that's going to also cause a walk to come, or a run to come in. So another hit by pitch back to back. That's going to score Qualler. So a couple of guys been hit. Coach Boyle is going to call the time. I thought he's going to go out and talk to Brister, and he's wondering if he's talking to the plate umpire whether or not McMullen turned his hand to make contact with the ball instead of keeping it straight. And that's what he's asking the home umpire, and they're going to get to both infield umpires to have a conference now. So a question again, did he rotate his hand into the pitch? But it was on top of the handle there, but how the infield umpires can make a ruling from that far out, I don't know. I don't see any movement on the base runner. They're going to keep McMullen at first. So back-to-back hit by pitch, Burnett and McMullen. Got the bases loaded again. As they scored Qualler, so it should be 6-1. Got to make sure my phone is not anywhere near the sun. Anywhere it gets, it's getting a nice ray shot there, and you know how it works. Temperature, and you'll be down for a couple of minutes. Don't have any freezer to put it in right now. Out here in the hot sun in Albuquerque. Here's the windup of the throw from Brister. Gets past Hernandez, hits the backstop. Runners are going to advance on the wild pitch. So that's going to score Saavedra. So 3 runs that come across from La Cueva here in the bottom of the third. I'm trying not to let this get away from them. It was 4-1 just seconds ago. Now 7-1 after the 3 runs have scored here. Now a timeout. Coach Boyle is going to go to the mound and bring in the infield. Might be the last time for the pitcher Brister. Of course, if this would be him being pulled here, probably wouldn't be eligible for that next ball game. Not sure exactly the pitch count that you need in the same day. It's a long discussion. Maybe he's not going to pull him. I haven't seen the ball being handed over yet, unless he's just having a motivational speech here. We'll have to wait. Looks like he's staying on there. Infield has given himself some not congratulatory, but some motivational fist pumps. So he's going to stay out on the mound. Got a lizard running across my equipment now here, left of home plate, and looking back at me and getting in my bag and getting out of my bag, and I don't need any color commentary right now, thank you. Don't need insurance as well. Figure that one out. 1-0 count now, the pitch from Brister. Fastball at the end of the bat, going to head towards second. Taylor with a good scoop, but lost it at the last second out of the webbing. So an error. Was a hard shot. I'm going to see if they're going to call this. Did hit the glove, so I'm thinking that might be an error, but we're waiting to see on the call from the press box here. That was Blomker. That will score a run. Pretty hard shot there. But he did have his glove on it, and then it was dropped as it came out of the webbing. So it did score a run, 8-1. 8-1 score here in the bottom of the third. 4 runs that come across just like they did in the first inning. Brister with a fastball to Caden Nurhood. Still not counting that as an error on the board, so maybe a single for Blomker on that last one. Be the 7th hit of the ball game. But they haven't registered. They still have 6 up there, but no errors. So I'm not sure what the official signal or official call was on that. Fastball inside high for ball. Count goes to 1-1 to Nurhood. He's 6th in the order for La Cueva. They've got runners at first and third. Again, 4 runs that come across compared to 1 for Hobbs at the top of the third.
Left shoulder, right shoulder, that's a 5.
Brister on the mound. Don't see any work in the bullpen yet. Fastball comes low and outside for the ball. Of course, high school baseball, lots of guys got some pitching under their resume as well, so it doesn't mean you have to have any warm-ups in the bullpen. 2-1 count down to Nurhood, who ground out to short for the last out of the second inning. Of course, that was one of those zingers that they had towards Fuentes. Fastball high for the ball. Count goes to 3-1 with the pitch to burn for Nurhood. Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball exclusive coverage, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Be listening to a lot of our different broadcasts, softball and baseball through the playoffs. HobbsAmerica.com, a good place to be. Fastball, holding on it was Nurhood. Didn't have to swing the bat, but now he's got a full count to deal with, and we'll have to protect the plate. Runners on the corners for La Cueva. This is the 9th batter here in the third inning for the home Bears. Taking more time here is Brister. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball at the end of the bat. Late swing, going to go over the top of the backstop. Out of play on the right side. Little 180 walk around now for Nurhood behind the circle to catch his breath for his next at-bat at the plate. Full count now, still for Nurhood. 3 hits in this third inning for La Cueva, who leads 8-1. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball, and that'll be a swing and a miss, and it'll be strike 3 and out 3 as Nurhood goes down. That'll be the second K of the ball game for Chase Brister. They do get 3 hits total, bring 4 across, leave 2 on base. As we head to the top of the 4th, Hobbs back at the plate. They trail 8-1, though. 7-run lead for the La Cueva Bears. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Top of the 4th inning here in Albuquerque. The 5A playoffs live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, Colt 95.7's Facebook page. 8-1 score. Cueva with 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the third. Hobbs getting their 1 run in the third. Hobbs at the plate so far with 3 hits, 2 for 2. Cole Kestner, he's got a double and a single with an RBI. And Jaden Hernandez, 1 of 2. He has a double and a run. But now at the plate, Jackson Souter. 6th in the order, had the other, or actually 4 hits, excuse me. He was another guy that got a single. 1 behind in my stats here, sorry about that. Jackson, one of the lefties for the Hobbs squad. Got that single back in the second. Still on the mound, it's Everett Burnett. Takes a fastball outside for ball 1, low as well. Burnett the starter. Blomker went the distance yesterday with the 2 hits that he gave up in that one. 17-1 win for him. Fastball hard off the bat, and this is going to left center. The center fielder's got to come way over and make the catch over the shoulder. Boy, talk about Nerhard getting on the wheels out there, and he had Saavedra coming from left to help out in case that was a little bit too far to the left. That's in front of the warning track, but a nice yank on that one by Souter. Unfortunately, fly out to left center. First out for the Eagles here in the top of the fourth. Luke Parrish now the right fielder. The strikeout in the second inning for him. Fastball down low and inside for ball one. Burnett was in a game last week against Sandia, 15-0, and 3-hit. Did have a relief in there. Curveball inside, a dribbler towards second. Ryder going to pick it up, sidearms it over to first on the connect on the 4-3 as Ryder hooks up with Blomker. So that went against Sandia 15-0 in game two. Teamed up with the relief late in the game, but only gave up 3 hits to Sandia. That's the defending state champs. They were in the playoffs again this year and beat them twice, 15-0 and 6-0. 21-zip in that doubleheader, finish up the regular season. Here comes Burnett with a fastball down the middle against Parrish for the strike. Luke waited on that one. Or correction, Sullivan. Fastball outside for the ball. Count 1-1. Sullivan struck out back in the second inning. Here's the windup of the throw from Burnett. Fastball, hard shot for the strike. Sullivan looks back at the ump a little bit, thought that was outside, but watch the pitch on that. Now 1-2 now to Sullivan. Burnett comes back with a fastball and a swing and a miss, and that's strikeout for Sullivan. That'll be out number 3. And so your Hobbs Eagles, unfortunately, with a couple of flyouts and a strikeout, nobody on the bases, nobody comes across. And it's 8-1 still as you go to the bottom of the fourth, more than halfway through this second game of the best 2 out of 3 series. The Eagles have to get back in this one and get the W to have a game 3 for a doubleheader today. Otherwise, season will be over. And the team is going to play the winner of Carlsbad and Oregon Mountain, which is going on as we speak. Carlsbad up 1-0 in that league series. And we will take a break. 60 seconds and back live with more Hobbs Eagle Playoff Baseball on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Albuquerque as the La Cueva Bears at the plate, the home team, leading 8-1 over the Eagles. Curveball inside, hits hard towards Brister at the mound. Ball gets knocked over to the second base and bobbled. As trying to come over from short was Fuentes. Almost had a collision with Taylor at second. A very hard shot that went off the webbing of the Chase Brister at the mound. He jumped up in the air the best he could to knock it down. But it kind of flipped it over second base at that point. That was Christian Cantwell that gets on. Such a hard shot. Got to give a single on that one to Cantwell. That'll be the 8th hit of the game for La Cueva. Dylan Sofer now 8th in the order. Throw down to first from behind the plate, or from the pitcher Brister. And not in time is getting back is Cantwell. Sofer 1 for 2, a single, and ground to short. Did get a run after that single. Fastball comes outside for ball. Count to 1-0. Brady McConkey last in the order. That'll be 3rd time through the order for La Cueva. He's up next. 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the third for La Cueva, 1 run for the Eagles in the third. 8-1 game. Curve inside for Brister, going to go high in the air, shallow towards center. Second baseman Taylor with a backhand catch as he almost had 2 teammates run into him, and he split the difference. He had short Fuentes shifting to the right, and coming up also was Phillips. Nice job for Taylor making decision. I'm going to go full speed and make the catch between those other 2. So fly out for Sofer. We had some real good athleticism for the Eagles, both in the infield, left, and the center. That time it was Taylor, the second baseman. Bottom of the order now, Brady McConkey, 1 for 2, RBI single, flew to center. Fastball coming from Brister, a little flinch on that one from McConkey, takes a strike call. Didn't extend the bat on that one, but took the pitch. Qualler, Saavedra, Burdett, all coming up first through third in the order for La Cueva. Firing the fastball, and he gets a piece of it, gets through the gap but at short. Diving for it was Fuentes, couldn't get the grip with the glove. Sullivan will bring it in from the relay back to Fuentes, but that'll be a single hard one for McConkey. That'll be the 9th hit of the ball game. 2 coming here in the bottom of the 4th. Still 8-1 ball game, favor the Bears, the home team. Top of the order, Qualler, the catcher, 2 for 3, RBI or a single with a run scored, and an RBI double. He scored 2 runs, 1 off that double. Also flew to left center. Going to the order for the 4th time. Fastball outside. Kind of gets Hernandez off his feet and kind of lunging right of the first baseline. Of course, just kind of seeing what those runners are going to do too, thinking he's out of balance and then turn and fire off somebody at the bags. 1 down for the Bears. Looking back a couple of times as Brister fires the fastball down the middle for the strike. Not as many big hitting going on in the top of the order like we saw yesterday. The top 4 hitters were 11 of 14. And right now, there's only 3 hits total combined on those guys. Brister with the fastball, golf swing, and it goes to the backstop right for the foul. Qualler 2 for 3. Saavedra 0 for 1. Although he's been on 2 other times, hit by pitch and walk. Burdett is 1 for 2. And McMullen 0 for 1. So again, not as much production at the top as we saw yesterday. Of course, different pitching and some other factors out there. Count, though, is 0-2 now. Having to protect the plate is Qualler. Briscoe trying to sit him down for the second out if possible. Fastball, middle of the bat. It's going high up in the air towards right center, towards the fence. It might have enough distance to get over. No, it bounces right before it gets over. It's pulled down by the right fielder, Parrish, to chuck it in on the relay, but did a run score? No, it didn't. Base is going to be loaded. This go down as a long single for Qualler. Back-to-back hits for him, the 10th hit of the game for La Cueva. Good job for Parrish to come over and help out Phillips on that right center, and it almost looked like it was going over the fence, and then you just saw this dust cloud as it bounced right in front of the wall. Walls aren't very tall. That's about 355 out in right center. Damon Saavedra now, second on the lineup. He's 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch to get on, got a walk, 2 to get on. Scored runs after both of those, but flew out to left center. His second at bat. So his 4th time up. Bases loaded. Fastball for Brister outside for ball 1. No runs that come across yet, just 1 down for La Cueva, who leads 8-1. 7 innings slated for this one. Definitely don't want to get this up to 10, though, because that's when the Mercer could come in effect after 5 innings. Fastball, check swing, but it's way high for the ball. Count goes to 2-0 now to Saavedra, second in the order. Burdett and McMullen, 3rd and 4th slots next. Fastball hits the outside corner for the strike. Qualler getting some good production today at the top, 3 for 4. So it's actually 2, 3, and 4. The batters that aren't as productive as we saw yesterday. He's doing fine. Fastball goes down low. A little flinch of the bat there for Saavedra, but I don't think it's going to be enough for that. Hernandez got the ball and then turns back and talks to the umpire. I think he might have been asking to see if they're going to appeal that down to first. I don't think there was enough rotation by Saavedra for that to be called a strike. 2-1 count now to Damon Saavedra. Chase Brister, the starter for the Eagles, getting up through so far 4 1/3. Fastball goes down low for the walk. 2 walks in a row now for Saavedra. That's the 5th of the ball game for the Bears to get on base, and that will load him up for the Bears. I think it's been about the 4th or 5th time that he's faced loaded bases has Chase Brister, and there comes Coach Boyle again. He's been out a couple of times and kept him on the mound. So another discussion going on as Coach will be out there. Eagles trying to get the win here against the Cueva to get a 3rd game in the series, which will be later today. I think this is going to be it. Yep, the ball has been taken, and a slap on the butt there for Coach Boyle on Brister. So he'll finish up giving up 10 hits, 5 walks, 2 Ks. And we'll see who he's going to replace with. I know Parrish is in the potential. He didn't pitch yesterday. Several other guys, too. Yesterday, of course, we saw Souter getting some relief work. Still in a big huddle here, so we have to wait to see what's going to happen. Now we'll take a break and try to check out who we got here. Looks like that could be Sullivan. Hendrick Sullivan, the senior, is going to be the man on the mound. He's going to warm up, but we'll take a break as we watch him get ready for this game. We are in the bottom of the 4th, a 9-1 ball game as the Cueva leads over your Hobbs Eagles. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagle relief pitcher Hendrick Sullivan, one of the 9 seniors on the team, comes in with a 2-1 record. His 9th game of the year, 2.14 ERA. First relief for the Eagles. As you mentioned, the starter stayed in through 3 1/3 inning, and that was Chase Brister. So 10 hits given up to La Cueva. They had 5 walks and 2 Ks as Brister was out there. Now it's time for Sullivan to pick it up. Bottom of the order, or correction, the 3rd in the order, Everett Burdett. He is 1 of 2 with a single, flew to left, and also was hit by a pitch, been on 2 times out of 3. Fastball outside, a slide over by Hernandez to keep it from going wild. Bases loaded for La Cueva. Trying to extend on their 9-1 lead here. 4 in the 1st, 4 in the 3rd, and 1 here in the 4th. Scored by Cantwell. I don't think I got that announced before the pitching change. Fastball hits the middle of the plate and for the strike. Wasn't hitting the plate, but above the plate, I should say. Carlsbad, Oregon Mountain going on right now. Their 2nd game of the series. If Carlsbad wins that one, they will be the next team to face one of these two. Fastball outside for the ball. Count goes to 2-1. Yesterday, Burdett, 2 for 3. He had a 2 RBI homer, so that's not something you want to see. And also an RBI double, too. So he ended up with 3 RBIs on the afternoon. Here's the 2-1. Fastball down the pike for the strike on Burdett. Hendrick Sullivan, of course, playing some basketball for the Hobbs Eagles as well. Says no to a couple pitch calls there from Hernandez behind the plate. And about the 4th one, he says yes, too. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball comes down low and just barely misses the strike zone. Cueva Players in the dugout yelling thank you on that one. Full count now to Burnett. 2 multiple hitters so far for La Cueva. Qualler with 2, or make it 3. 2 for McConkey. And single hits for Burnett, Blomker, Cantwell, and Sofer. Sullivan comes back with a fastball outside for the walk. So 2 walks in a row now. That'll score a run, so an RBI on the walk there for Burnett. And that will score McConkey, and that'll bring it up to 10-1. Getting dangerously close to a mercy rule situation. That would be at the end of the 5th, though. You have to be up by 10. Right now, that's just 10 runs, though. It's 10-1. That's a 9-run lead. That brings up Mikey McMullen. He's been hit by a pitch twice. Takes a fastball from Sullivan for the strike. He scored a run after the first one. Second time he was hit, that was bases loaded, so a run came home. Also flew right center. 0-1 count here to McMullen. Curveball clips the inside corner for the strike. Off the pitch from Sullivan. Eagles finish up the season 11th in the Max Preps poll. La Cueva at number 4, but they ended up getting the number 3 seed here at the state tournament, hosting the best 2 out of 3. Sullivan takes a little bit more time, the windup and the throw. Bouncer off the plate, comes off the chest protector also for Hernandez, the catcher, and able to kind of bounce it toward that first baseline so he could have a chance to throw, and all the runners staying near their bags, so they're in good shape. Still just 1 out here. The 9-run lead for La Cueva. Sullivan with the fastball off the middle of the bat, and it's going to go foul. Quick curve out towards the right outfield and over the sidewall out of play. Wind's starting to pick up just a bit here. I don't think any more than 10 miles per hour, though. Very hot in the 80s. Blue skies, little wispy clouds moving around a little bit. A little delay now for Sullivan as he awaits McMullen at the plate. Fastball off the handle. It's going to go over the backstop right behind home plate over the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Just go getting some contact is McMullen. He is the cleanup man for La Cueva. Trying to extend on a 9-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th. 6th batter at the plate here for La Cueva here in the 4th. Curveball inside, and that's going to be heading towards left. Looks like it's going foul as well. Going to hit the wall and back, but curved out of play. Yeah, Sullivan will have to jog over there to retrieve the ball regardless and gets it into his third baseman, Montez. McMullen not going down easy here. Keeps making some contact, and umpire calls for the ball to be brought back to him. So I'm going to switch up the toll of pleasure here at the second game of the best of 3. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Sullivan comes with a fastball high and gets the count even with the ball 2-2. Wishing all you mothers out there that are listening, happy Mother's Day tomorrow too, coming up very shortly. A lot of moms in the crowd here for both Hobbs and La Cueva. Good boisterous crowd earlier for our Eagles. Fastball hits the plate. Also rolls back to Hernandez, and he's able to keep it in front of him. Runners are going to stay where they're at on the ball, but a full count now to McMullen. With just 1 out, definitely some double play looks would be good here for the defense on the infield for the Eagles. Someone to come back with a curveball inside. This is going to go out to left over the head of Fuentes, who jumped up as high as he could on the ladder. That's going to be an RBI single, making it a 2 RBI single. Throw to home, and the ball gets knocked out of the glove of Sullivan, or correction, of Hernandez, as sliding home for the score. And getting hurt, got hurt pretty bad there, Saavedra. He scores. So a couple of runs come across. That's going to be Qualler and Saavedra on the RBI single or 2 RBI single for McMullen. So 2 more come across, making it 12-1. Now that is the mercy rule runs they need in terms of the 11-run lead now. But there's still plenty of time to go. One more inning would be left for the Eagles to try to get underneath 10. Time being called. It looks like Hernandez is kind of hobbled. He crashed hard as the throw coming in from left field. The runner coming across two, full speed was Saavedra. Saavedra did score the second run. Qualler before in front of him. And a nice round of applause from both sets of fans as Hernandez got himself taken care of here. He's going to go back to his catcher spot. Of course, catcher's up and down the whole game. They have to deal with an injury, too. That's not very fun. Still just one out. Runners at second and third. That was just a single, but it took a little while for that play throw home, and the McMullen, who did get the hit, got to second. Fastball coming from Sullivan. Fastball outside. Oh, boy, just barely clipped the outside corner. Umpire goes and takes the strike on that one. Is Blomker at the plate. He is 2 for 3, a 3 RBI double, a single, and a walk. He's been on base all 3 times for La Cueva. Sullivan comes back quickly with him. Curve it inside. Golf swing high out towards right center. Shifting from left to right is Parrish. Gets the catch, throws it in on the relay, and gets it into the first baseman who came into the infield. That was a Souter, but the run does score. So a sac fly for Blomker. RBI 2, as he will score Burdett. And that'll extend the lead to 13-1. Hobbs was hanging for quite a long part of this game, but starting to get away to that mercy roll situation. The win yesterday, 17-1 for La Cueva. So they just get some spurts and some innings, and they start to expand the lead. They've got 5 across here in the bottom of the 4th. Caden Nurhood now, 0 for 2. Ground to short, struck out, but did get a walk to start it off in his first at bat. He is 6th in the order for the Bears. 2 down after the sac fly, and the runner at third. Again, 13-1 your score, 12-run lead. Curveball almost takes off the helmet of Nurhood, able to duck away from it. Jumping up in front of the plate was Hernandez to make sure the runner wasn't going to come. That is McMullen, who did get the 2 RBI single earlier. Curveball inside, heading out to right field again. Nice run from left to right to make the catch. Over the shoulder that time for Parrish. He had shifted way to the left and then had to run back to the right to make the catch. Good glove on at that time as the senior gets the job done. So that will be the 3rd and final out for Nurhood. In terms of the production for La Cueva, able to get some big hits, 3 total. They bring 5 across home plate and leave 1 on base. Your score 13-1 as we head to the top of the 5th. Last hurrah for the Eagles. Got to get this down underneath 10. Right now it's 12. So they got to get 3 runs to keep this game maneuvering past the 5th inning. Stay with us live. Hobbs Eagle Playout Baseball on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Back here at Albuquerque, 5A state playoffs going on. Looks like they're going to try to get their pitcher to go the distance here. Everett Burdett still on the mound. So far, he's given up 4 hits to the Eagles. Pair to Kestner, a double and an RBI single. Double to Hernandez, a single to Souter. 8 Ks in the game, 1 walk. Hobbs trying to get back in this one, down 13-1 here in the top of the 5th. Fastball coming in to Phillips, last in the order for the Eagles. He struck out back in the 2nd, takes it inside for ball 1. Eagles definitely have to get some base runners. Burdett takes the pitch call he wants, turns and fires a fastball. Low pitch, but just at the bottom of the strike zone for the strike. 1-1 count now to Phillips. Here comes the windup and the throw from Burdett, showing bunts and getting a piece of it, but it goes right behind home plate to the backstop for Phillips. Pulled out on that one. First time he showed bunt on his third pitch coming from Burdett. Eagles yesterday only with 2 hits. They've doubled that number today, but the same situation in terms of score, 13-1. Thanks to 3 innings of big-time scorers, 4 in the first, 4 in the second, third, and 5 in the fourth. And a fastball holding on to it on the strike for Phillips. That'll be K number 9 for Burdett on the strikeouts. Top of the order, starting at the third time, will be Jaden Taylor with 2 Ks so far. Definitely got to get some contact here. Brett going to come with a fastball. Check swing for Taylor. Had the bat on his shoulder that time and pulled out of it for the ball. Cluster of Eagles hits, 3 in the third and fourth slots. Fastball way over the top of the webbing of his catcher. Qualler had to jump up in the air, but still couldn't come down with it off the pitch from Burdett. Got away from him a little bit there. Count to 2-0 now as Taylor getting ahead on it. Eagles do have 1 walk in this game, Montez. I definitely think Taylor wants to extend the bat a little bit more and make some contact. Fastball low and inside for ball 3. Taylor does have 10 walks this season, 3rd on the team. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle for the strike. Holding on it was Taylor. Fuentes, Hernandez, and Kestner 2 through 4 in the order. Burdett with the fastball off the handle, going to go foul over the top of the backstop. Out of play and for the Eagles. Hobbs at 14th seed, playing here in La Cueva, the number 3. Winner's going to take on either Carlsbad or Oregon Mountain. Full count now. Fastball low. Over the top goes Taylor for the strikeout. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was not Taylor. They had a sub in there. That was Dunlap, the freshman. Glad I caught that the last second. Dunlap with the K. So that is going to be out number 2 for the Eagles and brings in Jason Fuentes. Better keep checking my numbers here. Burnett's going to go quickly with the fastball. Hard swing for Fuentes and the strike. No contact on the ball. He's 0 for 2, struck out and ground to short in his first 2 at-bats. Down to the last out here in this second game, the best 2 out of 3 series against La Cueva. Fastball coming, strike inside. Count now 0-2. Hopefully Jane Hernandez gets a chance to come to the plate as well. Fastball hits the front of the plate and bounces behind it. Almost gets into the Hobbs Eagle dugout on the right side. Fuentes definitely just want to make some contact here. Keep it out of the infield if possible. Eagles lone run coming in the 3rd. Off a Kestner RBI. Curveball inside, heading out towards right. All right, gets center field, right center, and it's going to be an easy one-handed catch pulled down by Nerhard for out number 3. So the fly out for Montez to right center, and that pretty much will wrap up the game for the Hobbs Eagles. Nobody on the bases. And that will be it for your Eagles. As the final score, 13-1, La Cueva getting the victory. Cueva's got to improve to 25-3. And go to 12-0 at home. Hobbs Eagles will drop to 12-16 in their final game of the season. And we'll talk more about that as we come back with the Hobbs Eagle post-game show live here on Cool 95.7's Facebook page, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Welcome back live to Albuquerque. Your Hobbs Eagles unfortunately ended up their season losing in the first round of the 5A state playoffs 13-1. Lost yesterday 17-1 to La Cueva, so La Cueva will advance to the quarterfinals. Take on either Carlsbad or Oregon Mountain. Those two teams are going at it. They have their second game in their series today. If Oregon Mountain wins that game, that'll make it to a game 3. So we don't have any finals on that one yet. But that's the situation for later this week, or next week, I should say, for the second round of the quarterfinals. Look at the game, first of all, for this one. And the big hitter for La Cueva in the contest was Chase Qualler, the leadoff man, 3 for 4 from the plate. He had himself a RBI double, couple of singles, scored 3 runs as well. So just like he did in the first game, he went 3 for 4. He was 6 of 8 in 2 games here at his home park. So definitely doing a great job at the starting slot for La Cueva. Not as many multiple hitters in this game as we saw yesterday. Dylan Blomker, the LSU commit, 2 for 2. He had a 3 RBI double to start it off, did score a run after that. Also a single, a walk, and a sac fly for an RBI too. So 2 for 2 at the plate, had the walk and the 4 RBIs for Blomker. And finally it was Brady McConkey with 2 for 3. He had an RBI, also scored a run in this ball game with 2 singles. It was Everett Burnett went 1 for 2. He had a single. I also had a walk, which was a loaded bases walk, which got him an RBI, did score a run as well. Mikey McMullen went 1 for 2, a 2 RBI single. He was hit by 2 pitches in this game. One of those scored a run after the bases were loaded. And then also Christian Cantwell went 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a walk. Last but not least, Dylan Sofer went 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored, plus a stolen base. So you had a total of 7 players for La Cueva getting hits in this ball game, and a total of 4 with multiples. 11 hits, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts in the ball game for La Cueva. Everett Burnett went the distance in this one to get the W for his La Cueva Bears on the mound. For your Hobbs Eagles, they did double up the hits they got yesterday, 4 versus 2. That was 2 for 2 hitting for Cole Kestner, a double and an RBI single. Also, Jaden Hernandez went 1 for 2 with a double and scored a run, the only run of the game for the Eagles. And it was Jackson Souter went 1 for 2 with a single. There were some one walk in the game, and again, that was picked up by Montez. So he went 0 for 1 at the plate, but did get the walk to start it off. So 4 hits, 1 walk. Eagles were struck out 10 times in this ball game. The scoring in the contest, La Cueva had 4 in the first, 4 in the third, and 5 in the fourth for their 13. Eagles with their 1 score off that RBI single for Kester to score his teammate in the ball game. That was Hernandez coming across the plate. Eagles had a couple of pitchers in the game. Chase Brister, the starter, went most of it, and then it was Sullivan in relief in the late innings. Final score, once again, 13-1 as La Cueva wraps up the series 2-0. They will advance to that winner of the Carlsbad-Oregon Mountain matchup. May have a chance to check to see if Carlsbad got the second win to punch their ticket to the quarterfinals. Want to take a look at the seniors, of course, 9 graduating for the Eagles this year. That includes Alan Udahara, of course. He pitched yesterday against La Cueva. Hendrick Sullivan, who got the relief look today. Jason Fuentes, of course, excellent game at shortstop. Lots of great plays for the Eagles in the infield. Also, it will be Luke Parrish, both the right fielder and pitcher. He had starting time in this game today. Jaden Hernandez, who's committed to Western Texas for next year, is going to be playing some college baseball. Tristan Montez, of course, we've seen him in lots of starting lineup roles for this season, the third baseman. Cole Kester, one of the deep hitters for the Eagles with the 5 home runs this season, tied for first with Hernandez. He is committed to New Mexico Junior College for next year. Definitely glad to see him at home and a chance to watch his baseball prowess. Last but not least, Jackson Souter, the senior. Of course, he had some action in this game today as well. So, again, all those 9 seniors, congrats for them getting to the playoffs this year. 3 juniors returning next year for the Eagles, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. One of those freshmen we saw, Dunlap, getting a chance at bat for the Hobbs Eagles. I'm going to quickly see if I can round up the Carlsbad game. Of course, that was the other team out of the Hobbs Eagle district along with Clovis. Clovis got beat pretty bad yesterday by Piedra Vista, who is currently second seeded. But Carlsbad currently in their second game of their series in terms of the playoffs. Of course, the Eagles played them twice this year. Carlsbad finished up as the 6-0 winner of the district. And they got upset last year, too, in the first round. Lost to Cibola 2-0, so kind of a bad finish for them. They're not used to being put out that quickly in the playoffs. Sorry about the delay here, trying to get the Carlsbad game that was going on earlier, or actually at the same time ours was. Probably go to all this trouble, and then it's not going to show up, will it? Looks like they did win today 4-3 over Oregon Mountain, so a close one in that second game. So Carlsbad has advanced, and they will play in the next round of the quarterfinals in the 5A playoffs. That will be here in Albuquerque, and that game will be slated for May 14th. That is this coming week. Today is the 9th, I believe, right? 10th, 11th, 12th, what is that, Thursday? So May 14th at 4 o'clock. It'll be Carlsbad taking on La Cueva. Number 3 for La Cueva, number 6 for Carlsbad. Once again, final score today, 13-1. La Cueva wraps up the 2 out of 3 series, advances to the quarterfinals next week here in their hometown of Albuquerque. Would like to thank Coach Boyle and the Hobbs Eagles for having me on as their announcer this season. It's been a pleasure serving them and getting them back in the playoffs. That's always a pleasure to come up here and call these games in the nice 80-plus degrees in Albuquerque. It'd be a great season to see some of these guys return next year as well as we get back to business. I want to thank Evie and Tiffany Stuber with all the tech support this year. And also thanks to our management back at the station for keeping these games on the internet. Thanks again for watching here on HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and, of course, the Cole 95.7 Facebook page. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Ty Friends signing off. Have a great weekend.